Hey, what's up? This is Dev, and I'm about to introduce you to Roy G Beats, which is a musical, rhythm-based tactical tower defense game with shooter and puzzle elements that I've been working on. It should be available this fall, 2011, so find out more, and please give me some feedback or sign up to be a tester at roygbeats.com. The game is in its early alpha right now, and it really just shows the primary, secondary, and tertiary play mechanics. The sound is kind of representative of where we'll be going, but it's definitely not final, especially the effects. And the art is nowhere near complete. I just wanted to focus on the gameplay and get some more eyes on it and see what people experience, what they think. So there was a lot more to come from the game, but I finally feel ready to show it as it is and get some feedback. There are 3 more gameplay types that are not implemented, and I'm saving those for the release version. So the goal with Roy G Beats was to create something that played intuitively but was different than other games. High replayability and a focus on dynamic and procedural music were at the top of the list of things that were important to me. I wanted something that was approachable but unprecedented while sounding good and delivering a different experience every time you play it. So I melded what I dig about tower defense games with what really rocks about old school shooters, as well as puzzle and action games, without trying to be too derivative. And I focused a lot on creating a hypnotic soundscape by procedurally creating a music bed and allowing the user to generate the music through his or her combat choices in the primary gameplay mechanic, which is of course tower defense. So you defend Roy the robot from the bugs that are trying to corrupt his software system by switching on and off or igniting, air quotes, beat pods. These pods pulse in order to create music and also act as turrets. You as the user create the soundtrack through your tactical decisions and actions. When an enemy is within a pod's range, it will indicate this with a gray targeting beam. An ignited pod will fire a blue beam at the closest enemy within range when it pulses. Igniting a pod is as simple as clicking on it. Enemies approach from any angle and in a number of formations. There are 4 types of beat pods, and they're categorized by color: red, orange, yellow, and green. Pods can be upgraded through the use of resource points, which are gained by defeating enemies and completing puzzles between levels. Each enemy type awards a different amount of resource points, and each color pad has a different type of upgrade. Red pads, when upgraded, discombobulate their enemy and send them into a tailspin for a short while. Orange pads increase their range. Yellow pulses twice as often, and green increases its damage. Each pod upgrade costs 20 resource points. When the pod is deactivated, the upgrade disappears and that pod will be in its default state when next activated. You can also take control of Roy and use him as a turret and just click on enemies, similar to firing a missile command. Each shot costs 10 resource points and does the same damage as a pod. There are 3 categories of enemies: scouts, which attack on their own; wave enemies, which attack in a straight line; and path enemies, which follow a procedurally created path. Each category of enemy has 3 subtypes, which are analogous to basically weak, medium, and strong. At the start of each level, you're limited to only being able to activate 8 pods simultaneously. You can purchase the ability to ignite an additional pod with 100 resource points. As levels progress, the rate at which your pods activate increases, as does enemy speed. So within the same level, things get more intense until the level ends. New enemy types and waves may appear at any time. It's part of the level design. So between levels, a memory game is played, and how well you do in this memory game determines the amount of resource points you will start the next level with. So this is what I've got so far. I hope you dig it. I could really use some feedback, so check me out on roygbeats.com or try to find Roy G Beats on Facebook. I appreciate it. Thanks.